Along the Indo-Bhutan border, the morning fog rolls off a dense, unbroken canopy. Across much of Asia, stretches of forest like this are rapidly disappearing. Human development is slicing continuous landscapes into isolated pockets, cutting off the natural routes animals rely on to feed and breed. But in Assam, a newly designated protected area offers a countermeasure. This is Sikhna Jwhlao National Park. High in its trees lives the golden langur, an endangered and highly social primate that spends almost its entire life above the ground. These primates rely on a tight-knit family structure. They move in troops, carefully grooming each other and working collectively to shield their young from predators. To maintain these families, they require continuous aerial highways. A single break in the tree line can split a troop, severing their food supply and exposing them to danger. Because their survival depends entirely on uninterrupted branches, the health of these troops indicates that the upper canopy of the park remains intact. Yet, if you follow the langur's gaze down from the safety of the branches, the rules of survival change. The forest floor belongs to the Royal Bengal tiger. Down here, cooperation is replaced by isolation. The tiger relies on moving silently through the thick undergrowth, hunting alone, while the langurs above rely on a loud, cooperative network of alarm calls to stay safe. The tiger's success depends on remaining completely undetected. The park's riverine wetlands provide the perfect cover for this. Tall reeds and dense vegetation allow the predator to mask its approach until the final second. Within a single vertical column of geography, Sikhna Jwhlao sustains two radically different evolutionary strategies, the hyper-social canopy and the ultra-solitary undergrowth. Past the dense foliage, the park opens up into wide, rocky riverbeds that carve through the foothills. These open spaces serve as critical infrastructure for massive herds of Asian elephants migrating through the region. The shallow waters allow calves to cross safely, while the muddy banks give the adults a place to bathe and regulate their body temperatures in the afternoon heat. Sharing this space is the Indian one-horned rhinoceros, a heavy grazer that keeps the marshland vegetation in check. The presence of these large herbivores supports a complex micro-ecosystem. Their grazing habits create openings for endemic flora, which in turn sustain over 460 distinct species of butterflies. As elephants and rhinos move, they physically alter the terrain. They carve deep trails through the mud, creating small pools and clearings that countless smaller species rely on. The constant movement and feeding of these larger mammals prevents the wetlands from stagnating, maintaining the physical diversity of the landscape through their daily survival. This map illustrates the broader geography of Assam, revealing why this specific landscape is so vital. We see distinct, isolated pockets of green forest, surrounded by vast expanses of human development. When animal populations are cut off in these disconnected zones, they face genetic bottlenecks. Without a way to mix with other groups, isolated populations become highly vulnerable to disease and environmental changes. Sikhna Jwhlao fills the geographic gap. It physically connects the greater Manas and Raimona landscapes, uniting these fractured pockets into a single contiguous territory. By securing this linkage, the park ensures stationary troops of golden langurs can expand their bloodlines, and migrating elephant herds can travel their historic routes without conflict. By bridging these two landscapes, the park transforms thousands of square kilometers of isolated forest into a single, functional territory. Maintaining this fragile bridge falls to the communities living along the park's borders. For generations, the local Bodo community has lived alongside these wetlands. Today, their integration with the environment plays a direct role in its preservation. Through community cooperation and responsible tourism initiatives, locals operate an active buffer zone that deters poaching and prevents further logging. Because of that protection, life carries on in the canopy. Ensuring a mother golden langur can safely groom her infant on a branch requires protecting the entire map of India's wild corridors.